Gill with Burkland Gardens. Got a few more trees to show you today, and just to tell you a little bit about Burkland Gardens. I've talked about it before, but it's a small nursery dedicated not mostly to dwarf and unusual conifers, but I grow other trees, and I do it in my retirement. It's a backyard nursery, somewhat of a hobby nursery, but it does provide some income to me in my retirement years, so it's beneficial in a couple of ways. Just having a lot of fun growing trees. I'm at the nursery pretty much every day, so it's I don't have to be there. I usually get here at 10 in the morning, and I'm leaving at 4 or 5 or 6, depending on the time of year and all that. So we've got a little bit of airplane noise. Hopefully that doesn't overshadow what we're doing here today. And we'll talk about a few conifers today, and then we have some other interesting topics. And I'm going to be talking about an oak tree we have here in a separate video, so stay tuned for that in a couple of weeks as well. So let's get started. Let's talk about a few trees that we have here at the nursery, and one that people, I actually had a call from Maryland yesterday. We're here in Mount Vernon, Washington, and the lady was looking for a Chief Joseph lodgepole pine, and I have a few around the nursery, but I am not shipping these days, so except for we'll talk about some of my smaller grafts that in another video that we may be doing this fall or at the end of winter. So Chief Joseph, a great tree that is the brightest gold in the landscape. There are a few trees that come close and might even equal it, but it is the standard for bright gold color. In its old age, it doesn't look as good, but it's well worth having, and occasionally they might die more regularly than some of your other trees. So it's just starting to turn gold now. It's just starting to get its gold color, and we're going to get a picture of our one in the front yard. It's been in a video before. So is it worth it? I believe it is, and you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's going to be a focal point in your yard. Just realize that at some point you may have to get another one, or it's going to go away. So moving on, we've got a Japanese black pine, a dwarf version. This is Pinus thunbergii, called Banshosho, the cultivar. It is more of a flat growing one. It's showing some upright habit in its young life right here. Lots of little buds here, shorter needles. Japanese black pines, the species, is a very aggressive, fast-growing tree with a double flush, so it grows, sends out 2 flushes of growth every year. So this tree, a nice alternative to the fast-growing one as a landscape specimen, or just, and some people, if it has a nice trunk and everything, it can be used for a bonsai as well. So the next tree we're going to talk about is pretty old. It's one of 2 hinoki cypresses that you don't hear about very long, either Laxa or South Park. I think this one is South Park. I'm not absolutely sure. But hinoki cypresses, just in general, are really nice trees for the landscape, whether they're miniature, slow growing. Some are slender, some are gold. There's just a whole variety of them out there. So something that you should have in your yard if you're able to grow hinoki cypress. Then next to it we have a brewer's spruce called Emerald Midget. It is a slow growing brewer's spruce, and the native habitat for this spruce is southern Oregon, more northern California, and the Siskiyou Mountains. Unique thing about the brewer spruce is the branches that hang off of the main laterals here all hang down, and so it creates this little curtain throughout the whole tree. And we'll get a shot of a we actually have one on the property, a very old specimen, and we'll get a shot of that we can put in as well. But a nice something you could put in your landscape that's not going to get super big. We just had like 3 inches of growth last year on it. It looks like 2 or 3 inches the year before, so it's a slow growing one, and nice blue silvery color on that too. So I'm going to move around to the back side here, and we'll talk about this Mugo pine called Dave's Choice. And there literally are hundreds of Mugo pines out there, and quite a few miniatures. This is a miniature one. It will get to be a nice little globe, or globose form of conifer. Bud showing here nicely. So we have quite a few of these here at the nursery. So that's dark green color on Mugos. Just the regular Mugo pine is used a lot in the commercial aspect, but these are nice specimens that work well in your landscape as a nice specimen plant. And the last one we're going to talk about is a little miniature Japanese white pine called Tokyo Dwarf, and has a nice blue color. It's a 5-needle pine, so fairly soft, and nice and congested. And one thing, as I kind of notice, I always kind of like pulling these trees, but one thing you can do in your maintenance of your trees is, as you're touching them and just looking for dead needles that are on the inside and getting them out of there. I should have showed on the other one. This one doesn't. This is young enough; it doesn't have too many brown needles. But just cleaning them out, keeping them the air flowing through the inside. Maybe I did mention that before, but it doesn't hurt to say it again. So, a great little specimen. I think I've only got 1 or 2 of those around. So I want to talk about a few something that's going to be coming up here in the next couple weeks, and that's our grafts from earlier this year. These are considered first-year grafts, 1-year grafts, and here at the nursery I have mostly fir trees, but my friend Dave, who did all the grafting this year, he did pines and spruces and some cedrus. What else did we do? Abies, the firs, a few other genus as well. So most of my firs are miniatures, are very, very slow growing ones. So they may be available this fall, but keep looking for the video coming out on what we'll have available, and we'll figure out a system where we may ship some of these, but this will be the only thing that we'll ship this year is smaller plants. They're easy to deal with, and that may work out for all of us. So stay tuned on that, and we appreciate it.